to do this repair, and I haven't really seen anything. I saw a video where someone took apart the camera to replace the board, which I guess their HDMI port went out, so they replaced the board. But I watched that video, and along the way on that video, I saw that it only took about 30-45 minutes to get in the camera and get to the SD card slot. So it seems like the hard part comes after the SD slot. So hopefully it's just these screws, taking the monitor off, sliding everything down, and then pulling the card out. Should be pretty simple. We'll see. It's still scary though. I'm gonna leave this screw because I can pull it off last, or after I take this off I can pull this off because it's not actually connected. So I'm gonna wait on that one. There's a couple screws in here. All these screws are the same size. The only screw I've seen so far that's a different size is underneath the headphone jack. There's a screw hole there, and that screw hole is a smaller screw. So I have some double-sided tape on the piece of paper. I have the camera mapped out, and I'm able to stick my screws down. That way I can look at it later. I'm doing this because online I keep looking at parts and they all look different. So I figured I would just take the camera apart, pull the piece out, look at it, and then I can source the part I need. And that way I can decide also if I want to send this in for repair or if I want to do it myself. But I feel like even if I was to give it to a professional, there's still a lot of room for error. They probably won't, I mean, I'm just guessing that they won't take as much care as I would. So hoping I can do this because it looks pretty easy. Seemed pretty easy. I mean, I think the most daunting part is putting it back together. But yeah, let's keep going. This double-sided tape is holding the screws where it needs to be, and then that way in a week or two, whenever the part comes in, I can easily reference this and not screw myself over. And don't make fun of me. I don't have a body cap for this camera, so I just taped a Canon body cap on it. Yeah. Anyways, let's get back to it. It is pretty scary though. This is really scary to do this. Alright, I know these screws need to come off. Taking off the EVF now. So I think it's just those. I think it's just those 4 screws holding that in. Don't make fun of my drawing. I am not a professional at all. This will be my first time taking apart a camera, and I can't believe I'm doing it with this camera. But I don't have a warranty on it. I've had the camera for about 3 years now. I bought it used, and I rented it out to a bunch of different companies. So this camera's paid off tenfold. Like, it's paid for itself, and I've made money off of it. So if I was to damage it, it's not a total loss, but I'm pretty sure I'll be able to repair this. And if I'm not able to, then maybe I'll spend a few $100s to get it repaired down the road. But I think I'd rather spend that money on a different camera than getting this one repaired, because, you know, it is what it is. And it's useless without an SD card slot. So I could probably hook up like a Atomos monitor and record through the HDMI, and it'll still be useful. So as long as I don't mess it up any more than it already is, then I can always go that route and use it as a B cam that always has a monitor on it. All these screws here are the same size, so I'm just going to put them in an SD card case and label it once I'm done taking it apart. Ooh, that one's kind of tight. Be careful pulling that one out. You might strip it. I feel like I'm nearly stripping it now. Alright. I love the SD card case because it'll literally fit all this in there, no problem. So the wheel's just the one screw. So I'm just gonna keep that in there, put that in the SD card case here. And this should just come up now. It's got a little adhesive behind it. Adhesive's coming up. Just a cover that's held on by 4 screws and the screw that goes through the wheel. So now that that's done, close up the SD card. And I'll just put that like that. And I'll mark it with this right here, EVF. Put that aside. Boom. All right. Starting to look a little complicated here. Really easy. I'm interested to see if this camera's been taken apart before, because I can't tell just by looking at the screws right now. Got one. And 2. They are the same size as the other screws. Yeah, that's the screw right here. It's the same size as the rest of the screws on the outside, so I'm just putting all those into this little tray here. Alright, now we gotta pull the screen. There's a bunch of screws behind the screen here. So we're just pulling these screws out right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws are there. And there's, yeah. And then we should be close to opening it up. Okay, yeah. So, I don't know if that was visible, but if you open the screen up to this side of the screen, you take a screwdriver, you push up right here, there's these 2 tabs. You just push up, it'll release the backing there. Oh, I gotta be careful with this. You can probably hear the chickens out there making noise. So when I gotta put it back in, I gotta do it from like right here. Put it back in. So I'm gonna put that in there in the SD card case with the screws. God, I love using an SD card case for little screws. Okay, well this is where it starts to get a little scary, because that ribbon on the back of the camera there, if I rip that, then I have to order another ribbon and then have to replace that. I'm pretty sure those ribbons are like $100. So there's 2 more screws here. I'm gonna go ahead and unscrew them as well. There's a screw here, screw there. Go ahead and unscrew those. This one was loose. Got it. And it is a different size than all the screws. So I need to make a diagram to put these screws in because these are different. 1 and 2. And then I'm gonna put my screws right there on that double-sided tape. I feel like this is a good workflow. Got 1 screw here. That's 2. Boom. Stick it to the double-sided tape and we are clear. Could be using little trays for these and just label them that way, but I feel like with my ADD, this might be the best move. It's just to put these on here with tape. And then I'll have a great reference here. Or display. Okay, so I got a toothpick here, and I'm going to try and show you this on these cameras, but there's a ribbon right here, and if I feel like just kind of peel it off kind of like I would peel off a sticker. There it goes. Look at that. Alright, that does look a little different than the A7R in that it has those little prongs on the side there. But this hopefully will make it easier for me to do if I clamp this down now. Oh, I can do a real good deep cleaning too whenever I'm done. Alright, so I'm just going to sit this flat down like this. And then hopefully I'm able to just pull the camera apart and lay it down. We got this long ribbon here. Hopefully I can slide all of the layers out over the screen ribbon without having to take any of that apart. It probably wouldn't be that hard, but I'm going to do my best not to take anything apart that I don't have to do this project. I need to pull that sticker off anyways. Oh, and there's one hiding under my label. Put that right there. And we're going to pull this, probably the last screw, and put it with the rest of the body screws. Close to 30 screws, probably 27 or 28 screws. Go on, try to get this stuff out. I'm going to close these up. I don't think these need to be open to do this. So these are closed. Piece of gaffer's tape. I'm going to use that just to tape the screen down. Make it a little easier to pull it out, hopefully, without the screen bouncing around. Alright, we're starting to come loose there. Oh yeah, it's starting to slide out real nice. Just kind of giving it a little love on each side. I'm starting to get a little nervous. Nothing seems to be binding too much. Double check the, make sure there's room for the monitor ribbon to move around a little bit, and oh yeah, okay. Take this out of the way. Alright, the monitor ribbon is still safe, so I should be able to lift this up now. Slide that through. Ooh, it's scary. It's so scary. Just gotta sit it down. Boom. It worked almost like I said I wanted it to work. Or just like I wanted it to work. Looks like a little bit of corrosion in there. Must have got wet. Yeah, that's not what you want to see. You don't want to see all that corrosion back there. Okay, so I'm taking a box of screws and sliding it underneath this so it's flat and there's no tension on the ribbon here. You see there's like a little bit of movement there. This is it. This is the shutter control. This is the record button. This is all the buttons right here. And it's scary because this whole thing needs to move out of the way to get to the SD card reader. So let's start pulling screws. Let's pull this screw out. Okay. Alright, one silver screw there. There's a black one on the side here. I'm gonna have to get another light in here soon, because this is getting pretty dark. Let's see, there's another screw hidden down here. There it is. All right. There's a little tape. Right there. That black is tape, and that needs to come off. All right, there's that tape. That needs to come off. The whole piece, I think. Not sure what that was for. That's starting to come up. Okay. So I have to flip this back up to get to those. There's a screw here. That we skipped earlier. Can now come off, and then this bottom plate is going to completely come off too. I'm guessing that way you can replace the 1/4-20 thread if you need to. I'm just going to put the screw back in that hole and leave it with this piece. Came right off. Flip our screen back out. So far, nothing's broken. It feels like I'm not doing too bad here. Okay. That's feeling pretty loose. Oh, this one. This screw right here needs to come off. Oh, and that one is definitely longer than the others. So that's gonna go down there. Just from looking at it, it looks like if I remove this piece of tape here, move that out of the way, and if you just, so what I'm doing is I'm just holding this down with my thumb and then pushing on this side and then pushing on this side. I'm going to do that until this slowly comes out. It's probably a little more durable than I'm making it out to be, but safety first. And I've seen people do this with a screwdriver before. I'm just going to do it with a toothpick. Alright, now that that's out, this should flap up, and then this silver piece should be able to come back like that. So you just got to wiggle this a little, and then it'll come out. And then at this point, this whole piece should be able to flip up, lift up, and then boom, push that out of the way. Now that's probably fine like that, but I like tape. So I'm gonna take a piece of, normally I would use gaff tape, but I'm gonna use paper tape this time. I'm just gonna take a little strip of tape, and I'm gonna grab it on the top, like that. Then I'm going to tape it out of my way. All right. So at this point, there's one last screw, I think, down in that hole. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. There's one last screw. And it is longer. So I need to put it on the diagram. All right, now that we did that, I think all we have to do now is lift all this up. I'm hoping that this will just fold back. Oh, we're loose. Yeah, the little plastic piece right here was in the way of the metal frame, so now it should just pop right out. There we go. I'm just gonna fold this back. Sit it right clean like that. Look at that. And this right here, it's my SD card reader. There's a little bracket right here, and it just slides in. You pull that up. This screw needs to come out. Take that screw out. And this needs to be, it's so small. Definitely need to put that in an SD case. So, to remove this ribbon, this piece right here locks down and pops up. Try to lock it back down for you, but just take your toothpick or whatever you're using and just flip that up. That'll be flat down. Like that, you just flip that up, and then this should just come right out. And then boom. And that's it. Buy you a new one of these, or make sure you buy the card slot and the board. If you don't tear your ribbon up, then you can reuse the ribbon. But yeah, now all you have to do is just do that in reverse, and Bob's your uncle. Not too bad. Probably took about 20 minutes to really do it. If you knew what you're doing, it took me about an hour to do it, but if I was to have to do it again, it would go much faster. All right guys, well that's it. I hope you liked this video. I hope that this helped you out. Like I said, I wasn't able to find a video like this online, so I just went ahead and made it. And yeah, like and subscribe if you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.